You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Miriam and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Eastbound and Down After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Eastbound and Down After Show.
All right. Hello there, Powers Nation. That's right. Welcome to Eastbound and Down Season 3, Episode 20. Actually, Chapter 20, Episode 7 of Season 3. We've got so many names, numbers here. It's hard to keep them straight. Proverb 4, John 3:16. And before we go any further, Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah,
Happy Passover, too.
Happy Passover.
Oh, yes.
This is true.
You know, I'm kind of bummed because we were really trying to find from last week's episode that Kenny Powers' Jesus Christ photo to kind of put up in the background for this special occasion Easter episode, but unfortunately we couldn't find it online.
It was really hard.
Nobody had it online.
We should have binged it.
We did Bing it, and we couldn't find it.
No.
Dang
No
it.
Bing.
As we all know Bing is for doing it, and we're doing another after show for AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm JEC, and joined, as always, by my very own April, Miss Kellie O.
Hello.
Give it up for Kellie O. Come on, let me come on. And do not call her Vita, call her Miriam Gonzalez. What's up, Miriam? Yes, give it yes. Come on. Let's give it an Easter
Literally.
And joining us, our return guest. This
Thank
guy's
you,
got
thank
so
you.
much knowledge. Mr. Thomas Piland. What is up, Thomas? How are you, buddy?
Palabra, I'm doing really
Oh,
good.
you're Palabra?
Palabra today.
He's even schooling us in
Word up.
Spanish.
I know. Just a little bit, poquito.
And of course, we've got Hank the Muscle, who's off camera. We cannot see, you cannot see him, but we can. So make sure to follow us on iTunes, guys. Make sure you comment. Let us know that you like us. Tell a friend, because when we actually do this on our off time, because we love the show. We're super fans, and we're here for you. So first off, let's talk about Biker Week, the return of April.
It's not
Black
only,
Biker Week.
No, it's not just Biker Week. It's Black Biker Week in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay.
That's, you know.
Black Biker Week, Kenny's comeback, and our Hall of Fame clip of the year. Actually, of all the seasons, that's coming up a little bit later. And plus a little bit of a surprise, a tease for everyone.
Ooh.
Yes, even our co-hosts, they don't even know. Oh.
I like surprises.
Yes, you do. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start out with a quick, brief recap. We took a little bit of a hiatus, so can you keep it short and sweet? Kenny met his family, and he's manning up. And that brings us to today, where he meets his arch nemesis once again, Mr. Reg Mackworthy.
Yes.
Yes.
So when we last met, they did the baseball game at the dealership, right? That's when
Right.
when Kenny accidentally took his eye out. Well, accidentally, I say that lightly.
No, yeah. That was his full intent, and boy, he did it. He was effing out.
I was
Yes,
excited
he
to
did.
see him, like, you know, when they first, like, zoom into the opening of the show, you have all these bikers, and they're all, you know, ganging up, whatever, and then, like, one of them with the Skeletor-type mask walks into the bathroom, and he goes to take a leak. All of a sudden, he's, like, growling, and you're like, dude, I hope it is. I hope it is.
You
I
knew
hope
it,
it is.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
so was.
Oh
It was
my God.
perfect. And again, another ode to the 80s. You know, back to the He-Man with the Skeletor mask.
There we go.
Love it.
The whole actually they had that. They also had Highlander
Yes,
quotes today.
they did.
The whole season has just been like this homage to the 80s. So
I got this country wet. Now it's time to bend this bitch over and make her come.
oh,
Love it. I love
yes,
it.
we've got a little Kenny Power soundboard going on for you guys
Yes,
tonight.
I love
One
it,
of
I love
our
it.
You know what
many
sucks? JC sent me over this thing, except I can't normally I'm like really good at these soundboards and figuring out when to play what. This doesn't tell me what the actual quote is, so I'm going blind.
That's what's
in.
awesome.
That's what's great. You can't go wrong with the Kenny Powers quote, though, so
No.
just keep them
I'm
coming.
just playing, I
Kenny's
didn't come in my
random.
pants.
You know, if it goes with everything, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Trust me.
Kenny's so random that to randomly throw them out there is appropriate.
Exactly.
Kind of like this show. There we go. We're keeping it random, keeping us on our toes. So, Kenny our predictions, he's turning into a man.
He is, and
He's
I
manning up.
love it. And
Do you?
he's still. I do. I like it. I like
Does
that
he do something to you, April?
He always did, and it's even more now.
Oh. Well, he grew up.
He did, and he still has the arrogance and all that, but I like how he goes into the Merman locker room and he's like, Merman, I've matured. Here's my son that now I'm proud of. Now, the key word now he's proud of.
Yeah,
that now he's taking responsibility for, that all of a sudden he's had this awakening that now he can, now it's not a burden. Now he's proud of it.
It was always on Kenny's time. We knew that.
Yeah.
We all did. So, and just the fact that it's time for redemption for him in every aspect, as a father, as a friend, as an adversary, and as a ball player. He's come into his own.
And he's taken responsibility for everything. When he came in there, he said he's not ashamed. He's not ashamed. He even went as far as to apologize to Ivan. Goes up to him, apologizes for ruining his DJ gig, for setting club celebrations on fire, for basically being a douche. He's like, you and I are on the same level. We both want to make it. I'm mature. I'm growing up. Here's what it is.
But then Ivan spouts back and basically says, F off, I don't care.
Yeah, he became Kenny.
Well,
Yeah,
you
he
can't
did.
blame him because of how Kenny treated him. He's like, screw you. How can I trust you? You want to take my spot, and you know what? I'm the new kid in town. I'm younger. I'm stronger. You're old and weak. And that's what he kept going at Kenny with. But the good thing about Kenny at this point with this whole change in his attitude is the fact that when he got all the information, he wasn't weak. He was like, all right, fine. Say what you got to say.
Yeah.
I'll show you otherwise.
That's right. But, also Ivan said, I was nice to you at first. Now I don't care. Because he did try to come at him as a friend and be a team player and all that. And you know how Kenny is. He wasn't having it. And now the tables have turned a little bit. So to see Kenny deal with that does show you how he's matured, because he could have come back and said, well, F you then. But he didn't. He took it in and he was like, all right.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the same can't be said for Stevie. He got squared in the face today.
Well, he got squared in the face for a different reason.
Yeah.
And why is that? What went down?
All right, so what happens now is now that, Kenny's all humble and he's, accepting the fact that he may be a failure, but he's still going to go out there and try to be a part of this Merman team, even though they're dismissing his desire to be a part. Due to his past behavior, he goes out and about, and who comes along? But Ashley Schaefer. Ashley Schaefer with all the black bikers surrounding him, and, his little sidekick, Scotty, and which was
In the sidecar?
just so inappropriate. And, Ashley comes back with this whole, like, you know what? I'm here. I'm a part of this. We're here for 7 days. And I like how they counted it down, like, by the hour, by the minute, by the second. And he's like, well, we have something for you before you leave. And so he, like, blows the freaking horn. And all of a sudden, here comes Macworthy.
Yeah.
On a bike with his hoochie mama. By the way, I so want my very own fishnet skirt.
I loved her thong.
So you can see my
skirt and
thong,
very
thong,
fashionable.
thong.
Did you notice the booty shot, though? They definitely
Yes.
had to do the booty shots. And
Can I
I'm
just
surprised she
say
wasn't doing the booty clap.
that I was in Beverly Hills the other day and I saw somebody at a restaurant wearing something similar. They were wearing a see-through
it's
skirt
wrong.
and like
Ooh.
little undies.
Oh my gosh.
It's just
Not
wrong.
okay. That's exactly what it reminded me of when I saw that.
Bad
Just-
fashion.
Yeah.
Bad.
Anyway.
Wow.
90s fashion.
So
Now-
back, back
okay.
on track.
Now, bringing us back. No, but did you notice it's kind of like everyone flipped the script this week? Kenny was the good guy. Kenny was the ground. Kenny was like the voice of reason.
That was even
Shocking.
hard to get
Yeah.
out.
bet on my cock? You better bring some fucking pesos.
There you go. Exactly.
He's growing up. I'm telling you, Daddy of the Year. Been saying it since episode 1. Daddy of the Year, and he even said that.
Yeah.
He is
did.
like I forget the exact quote.
the
I
best
think I heard
damn effing father
in existence.
Yes.
with the dinosaur with the dildo.
Yes,
But we'll get to that. We'll get
But,
to that.
yeah, that
save
was
it.
just-
Save it.
but he's the voice of reason. He's become he's the man in his he's the baddest bleeper in a minivan you will ever see.
Yeah, and I really just like the fact that, now that Macworthy's back and they're going face to face, he's like, what, are you trying to like do this in a parking lot? The cop goes by and he's like, I've got my eye on you.
Since he's only got
He
one
only
eye.
has one eye, but
Yes.
he's like, I have my eye on you. And, now he's nervous because now Kenny feels in this position that these bikers are going to kick his ass because he took out Macworthy's. Say that 10 times fast.
Macworthy. Okay, now
Because he took his eye out.
Yeah.
Now, Do you think it's too soon for them to be tying it all up? It seems like it's going to get tied up so neatly.
No, it's not going to be neat.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think it'll be neat either because there's too many little loose ends. I think, there's got to be a big surprise. I mean, there's still got to be something else.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got one left.
There's one left, but if you look at the last, couple of seasons, there's always something that comes in and just mashes it all up. You think it's going one way, and then we have a big surprise that kind of messes it all up, which is I think
April's a
that's-
man or something, or what?
I don't know. I don't
She
know.
had a child. I doubt it.
Hey, camera tricks. I don't know.
There has to be. There has to be something. I mean, I think there's going to be something that's going to be.
Okay.
That's just going to kind of shake us all up a little bit.
I just don't see it because
I don't know.
even Stevie and Maria, we can talk about that. Stevie.
Poor Stevie.
Stevie's just breaking. He's just breaking down. We really
First
see
of
him
all,
breaking down.
All of his weaves.
What was up with that? He kept changing his wig.
Well, like he says, like he says to Maria, he's like, "This is what I am without you." Bald, raw.
But it was like a Real
gnarly
Housewives
looking-
moment.
what
It
do
was
you
like
call
Atlanta
it?
where he's like they pulled the wig off of him and then the glue and he runs back to the car and he's like ashamed.
I mean, what?
That was ridiculous.
Which was your favorite weave? Which was the most outrageous one you could say? I'm going with the last one.
The last one. I like the long hair. It was like
Yeah, the long shaggy hair.
I was digging the first one. It was very like
The first
bad
one looked
salesman.
a little bit. At least those eyebrows looked okay. The second pair of eyebrows, I don't know.
That last said he looked like Mo from the Three Stooges with like
Yes.
that mushroom cut. Just
Okay, but before that though, you can see he's breaking down. He misses Maria. He says he saw her, but he doesn't approach her yet. He doesn't know what to say. He's really struggling with that. He realizes that, he's scrapbooking. He's
which Kenny
scrapbooking.
makes fun of. Kenny calls him out for that.
Yes. But
Did you guys notice what was on the scrapbook?
Is he scrapbooking?
Yeah,
Yes.
His very first condom, and it's a used one. That is not okay.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Leakage.
be burying my head in this microphone. Some of these actions were just. I was beside myself. I'm like, no, he didn't.
that's just.
But he
what-
did, and it was gross.
Okay, we are guilty. We are judging them, and that's just the way Stevie expresses his love to Maria.
It is. I mean, that was an important.
Yeah.
Milestone moment in his life, and he
Right.
was documenting it. At the same, so he's having this heart-to-heart with Kenny because Kenny's calling him out for scrapbooking this, while Kenny's making Nesquik chocolate milk bottles for Toby.
I still don't see what's wrong with that.
It's not baby food. It's
That
not
is
baby
not
formula.
healthy for the and it's not like baby formula. It's like milk from a half gallon.
I mean, he might as well have poured Pepsi.
Kenny, I
in
feel
it.
you, man.
He might as well have poured Pepsi inside of the baby bottle and been like, here.
Well,
He's
he
like
has
Shake it
done
up.
Pepsi before.
Scooping out the Nesquik, shaking it up.
I still.
He's
You
a
guys.
good dad, though.
Stevie's scrapbooking old condoms. Kenny's making Nesquik bottles. It's a mess up in that little beach house beach house property.
And in the Eastbound universe, things are perfect.
True. Touche.
Yes.
I like how Stevie's asking him for advice whenever he's like, no doy.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kenny quoted that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really dig that. I was like, look at him. Like, he's just, he's slowly coming into his own, Kenny, that is. And now he's giving Stevie advice and he's trying to guide him along. And I don't know. I just feel like the changes in the air when it comes to them.
So that's when Stevie, decides he's going to go look for Maria. And that's when this whole new set of problems ensues, because that's when he decides to super glue this crazy wig on his head and eyebrows.
But the eyebrows were
and
good though.
go,
Like,
the
I agree with
eyebrows
that.
were
The first
good.
one
The
were
first
good.
set of
Yes.
eyebrows I did like, but he goes and he finds Maria at this fruit stand, because of course
She had
has
digressed.
to be.
She had digressed to what their kind does. That's a Kenny Powers quote. Okay.
So of course she's selling fruit, so she goes and he goes to find her, but he leaves Toby in the car. He runs across the street. Toby, I'll be back. Leaves
With the
him in
windows
car
up.
seat-
Windows
with the
up too.
windows up.
In South Carolina.
Yes.
Ouch.
Runs across the street, even though it wasn't for that long. He has this, emasculating moment with Maria. She doesn't want to listen. They, whoever she's with pulls the wig off
One of her
his head.
cousins or brothers.
He's left with nothing but super glue on.
It looked more like Elmer's glue.
It did look like Elmer's glue.
Wouldn't it have hurt more? I mean, you're
If it
tearing
was
glue.
Supergirl, the thing is, it was still moist and wet. That's why I think
Yeah,
it was
so it was
Elmer's
probably
glue.
Elmer's
Okay.
glue from the scrapbooking. Now that
Yes.
makes
It,
more
it could have
sense.
been, yeah, or
It
what was in the.
probably-
No,
Yeah.
God, no.
Stop it. It was
Behave, Thomas.
Stop it.
You are out of
It was
control.
probably yes. You're right. That
Now-
makes more sense.
But you never know
mean-
with them.
Is it true that babies don't have sweat glands? They
Oh,
said that
that's
on
a
the
good
show.
point. They did say that. You're
that's
right.
True. I don't know.
They
I don't
do.
have a
and
baby.
they
I don't
do.
have a baby. Maybe they're
I
not
just
fully
love that
developed
line.
yet. Is it sad that we don't know that?
No, it's not.
I was setting that up as a joke, but I guess the joke's on all of us. Okay.
I
Wow. Yeah, so
don't know.
I guess Stevie's away from the baby for 2 seconds, and the baby gets kidnapped
Yes.
Baby gets kidnapped.
from Reg and Ashley Schaefer.
Yeah,
Yes.
so, Stevie runs home. He's totally ashamed. He's lost the baby now. There's nothing he can do. He's being laughed at. He gets to Kenny, and he's like, Kenny's like, no, I'm in the zone. I'm getting ready for the game, even though he's probably not going to play. And, Stevie's like, no, I lost him. And he literally has this freaking out parent moment, which I was like, whoa, Kenny Powers.
He
way
was
to step
dramatic.
it
I was proud of
up.
him.
Yeah, he punches Stevie square in the face. He really is like, what?
Now the thing that was interesting, if you look at all the seasons, when was there how Stevie had that moment when he told Maria he was cheating on her a few weeks back?
Yeah.
And it was just this grounded moment that was just serious. It was dramatic. I saw the same with Kenny tonight when he lost, when Stevie lost Toby.
Yeah.
He went there, and it was just, I was like, wow, I've never seen this in the 3 seasons of Eastbound and Down. I've not seen Danny McBride go there.
Like,
And-
you could see it in his face. You could see the stress in his, like, he really got into it with that. I think it was the same performance-wise I thought that we saw from Elizabeth Durazo's character when Stevie told her that he cheated and her reaction to it, like the depth and all of that. Because, I mean, for the most part, this is like an outrageous comedy series. But to see those, instances where we get to see real depth to these characters, it's nice to really see the characters develop that way and to see the real
It was a breath of fresh
inside
air.
those
It
characters
was.
come out, and I think that's what we saw in Kenny tonight.
And what was weird during that moment, I don't know if you guys noticed, when he punched Stevie kept on saying he wanted to die and he wanted to kill himself. And that's been going on for weeks now, where he always is referring to himself being dead.
Well, he feels like he's lost a lot, He
lost his loved one.
wife. He's lost his self-worth. He's feeling just horrible about himself for what he did. He's not feeling like a man, and now he's bald, and as he calls himself, a weirdo without her. And now he's also disappointing Kenny with his responsibilities for taking care of Toby. And it's like he just feels like there's no way out. There's nowhere else to go
just feels
except
worthless.
he just wants to bury his head under the couch cushion or something.
Do you think he reached rock bottom? Like, do you think this was it, or do you think it'll happen?
No, I think this. I mean, we've only got 1 episode left. I don't know what they're gonna cover.
So yeah, I think this was pretty much it for Stevie. I don't think he could go any lower than this.
No.
I
Yeah.
think this.
I mean,
has
it's
gotta be-
possible, but that would take a whole nother
but
We did
season.
offer
yeah.
for Kenny to eat shrimp out of his butthole. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
And then
I
Kenny's
did.
like, no, I don't want to eat shrimp
Why
out of
would
your
I want
butthole.
to
Like,
do that?
That's
yeah.
pretty low.
Yeah.
He's like, why would I want
I
to
mean,
do
he's
that?
crying, rolling around with glue on his head on the floor. I mean, I don't know.
I'm surprised he
how-
didn't stick to the carpet or something.
that would have been really funny, actually.
Actually picking up all the fur from the carpet,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have to glue on.
But one thing that I did like, though, with the 2 of those characters is that the roles were reversed, because Stevie is usually the one trying to pump up Kenny,
Right.
and Kenny turned it around and was like, this is not the time to be a bald baby crying on the floor. It's time to man up. Get up, let's do this.
Fantastic.
And gave him a fantastic speech, like, let's, and then where Stevie is like, they mess with the wrong guys and the wrong baby.
They get into their
Yeah.
Street Fighter garb.
And I like that he said,
Awesome.
I want to change it to some more street fighting worthy clothes.
Awesome.
Love the headbands, though. Love the headbands.
he totally got into the fist foot way clothes.
I thought the same exact thing. But I was like, this is so foot fast
With,
way.
yes, the nunchucks and the headband.
And then
Loved
they
it.
go into the showdown, and I was like, oh
Freddy
god.
Krueger hands.
Oh,
Yes. I didn't know if it was gonna be like an Anchorman type of battle or.
Which would have been awesome.
Yes, but it was actually rather tame.
It was.
Well, it was.
at the beginning-
Who cares if someone got
Yeah.
set on fire? Come on.
Well, it was at first. It just got really, really racist. So I don't know if you necessarily want to call that tame. It just got really, really inappropriately racist.
Well, I mean, you figure because you have Ashley Schaefer, who is now commanding for Macworthy to break Kenny's arm, and then instead of being like, just do it, he's like, I own you, dude. Not the
Yeah,
right
what
thing
was
to
up
say
with
during
that?
Black
I'm your
Biker
master.
Week.
Yes.
You do not say that during Black Biker Week. Like, you cannot say I am your master or say that I own you. I mean, hello.
Calling
they're
them
so
lesser
bastard.
beings. I mean, it got really bad.
It did.
So then they set him on fire.
Well, I mean, they like turn on him. They like, leave Kenny alone. All of a sudden now Kenny's the good guy, as you had pointed out before. They turn from him and now they're just beating up Ashley Schaefer to the point where, yes, they set him on fire.
And I love that it was
And he
almost like
runs by, yeah.
it was like a throwaway,
Yeah.
because as Reg was about to pound on Kenny, and then Kenny apologizes, and they come to this meeting.
Well,
Kinda team
Reg
up, yeah.
apologizes first.
Right,
And then
that's right.
Kenny apologizes back and says, I feel really bad about that. And Reg even says, I didn't even know you had those kind of feelings.
They had
And
a
he's
little
like,
heart to heart.
They did. And he's like, well, I'm pretty sure I have those and a little, a lot more, I'm realizing.
What is it with the men becoming so soft? It's so weird. Like, seriously, they're just like, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
what
sorry.
happens when
Growing up.
babies come around.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
Well, and
no.
that's what started the pause is because Toby cried. So again, Toby kind of saves him.
See, and that's right. That's right. So they're apologizing to each other, and then it was almost like a throwaway when Ashley's just running like on fire. It's just, and that's the end of Ashley Schaefer.
Yep, Ashley Schaefer.
Well,
is
I mean,
no
he
more.
could come back nice and crispy next week.
Really?
You never know.
No.
You never know. He's good at comebacks.
I thought that was it. I thought episode 2 was the last we saw of Ashley, and to see him tonight, I'm just like.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Never say never.
I thought it was great.
Now all this was happening because he was actually working on a deadline. He had a pitch. Remember, he had attempt to pitch, because there was the big match with the Merman versus who are they playing tonight?
The Ruckus, the Rockingham Ruckus.
The Rockingham Ruckus.
Rockingham
Battery
Ruckus.
throwers.
Yes.
They had really a hillbilly following that was ridiculous.
And how many people were in that stadium? Okay, they're like maybe 20 or it didn't seem like a lot of people like
there
that
was definitely a lot.
No, there was a
Well,
lot
there
of people,
was.
but
Packed.
there wasn't very many people for the Merman.
No,
There was a
exactly.
lot of
Oh.
people for the Ruckus, but there
Sorry.
weren't a lot of fans for the Merman. That's
Okay.
like that little crowd is what you're talking about. That was the Merman's crowd, I think.
I was too busy writing, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it
Yeah.
doubled
Yeah.
when the bikers showed up.
Yeah,
They, like,
because
literally
all the,
doubled in size, yeah.
Because all the bikers.
Yeah,
died.
because Reg and Kenny made up, and then Kenny wanted Reg to actually help him catch, I guess,
Yeah.
to be his new Shane. And
Yeah.
they show up, and Ivan's getting lit up.
they're throwing batteries at him, telling him to go back to Russia.
Well, they use the F word, but yeah.
Yeah, they knocked him down a peg.
Yeah,
Or
so
two,
he
or
got
10.
a little bit of humble pie,
He did.
and it was Kenny's moment, and he stepped up. He gave the speech to the manager.
To the coach, and
To
he
the
told
coach.
him, "I live for this. This feeds me. I don't scare easily like these rookies do. I need this." Now he's like, put me in, and it was like his power. But also this time when Stevie held up Toby, it didn't scare him. It didn't
No.
spook him.
We said he was fighting. He was playing
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, it
for him
powered
and
him
for
up.
and for the failures of Ivan.
Oh yeah.
That was his energy that powered him up.
I like how he dedicated each one of his pitches. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this one's for,
Power for my son.
Yeah,
Power for
power.
my son.
and power from his failure, and then he's like, this one's for Shane, and he's dedicating it, and you can see now this is where what I predicted last week, how Lily Tomlin, she was really sucking at her game last week when she was bowling until the men stepped up, and when the men stepped up to be a part of the family, and Kenny takes the baby, all of a sudden she starts winning. So now Kenny's getting the same thing going on, so now he's begging the coach to get him into the game. The coach is like, no, and then like the third pitcher is like, there's no freaking way I'm going into that game.
They're throwing batteries. It's like, no way.
They do that.
No way.
They actually do that in certain stadiums. I think like in Philly, they will do that. They will throw batteries at you.
Oh, that's
Old
not
school.
good.
Why would they throw batteries?
Because people are not that bright.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey. You can
No.
send your hate mail to JC. I'll take the brunt.
No, I'm sorry. To throw a battery at somebody,
hurts.
that's like throwing pennies at cars when you're driving by. It's just not cool.
I've heard people do that, actually,
I
in
know
Florida.
people that do that in
Sorry, no
Florida.
offense.
Wow.
We'll get into that another time. But,
Anyway.
it's just one of those things where, like, he goes to the coach and he's like, let me in the game. And so the coach has no choice but to. He's like, I feed off of this. And what does he do? 3 strikes, gets the guy out. Now, all of a sudden, everyone loves Kenny again.
He's back.
Do you think Kenny just got lucky in this episode, like with the fight? Someone else started acting up. It saved Kenny from getting his arm broken. And then with the game, with the batteries and you know what I mean? Do you think this was just kind of like
This is all Toby.
Well, and also I think it is his character though, because Kenny has always been that kind of hillbilly, white, trashy, arrogant guy. So he does feed off of that. He loves the taunting. He loves it,
Which
for
he
people.
admitted, yeah.
He loves for people to tell him he sucks, so he can sit there and say, "F you, no, I don't."
And he did that when they
That's
called him
what
in.
he did, and that is what powers him up. And I think that's why he was able to. I mean, that's what kind of makes him thrive.
So what you're saying is it's not so much that he had to become like this soft beta version of himself, but maybe now he's finding a balance.
Exactly.
He can still be the dad of the year, and still he can be like Kenny effing Powers.
Because we've seen him go all the way on one side and all the way on the other, and I think in this episode we've kind of seen him try to level it out. And that's what I'm hoping we get to see in the final episode is how if he's able to maintain it.
Well, and before we even get to that, let's talk about April.
Yes. April.
After he wins the game, and
April's back.
April's back. Maria's back.
So
everyone's coming back.
So should we take a commercial and then?
Yeah, let's take a little quick break, and we're gonna come back with our special segment, our clip of the year, and predictions.
What are you gonna say right after this?
Or right after this.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
All right, we're back to
Seattle can tongue kiss my shithole.
Whoa! And I was about to say that is our Easter. This is our Easter episode of Eastbound and Down.
And I think that's kind of what he wanted.
But you have clothes like a fucking dickhead.
That's right. So where were we?
April. So April shows up. So Kenny wins the game. He's surfing.
Did you notice how he looked when he's surfing? He looked like a mermaid on his boogie board. Mermans. He's back.
He's surfing. I like to surfing.
He's bodyboarding, and he looks like a stud on that thing. All right.
He comes out, and I like how he walks up to her and says, "If I were you, I'd get rid of those braids because Toby doesn't like that hippie shit."
Yes, and she's back.
And she's back.
She is, and now she wants her baby back, and now she's, realized the errors of her way, and she says to him, like, you know what, we'll get out of your way, we'll get out of your hair, I can take the baby back. And now you can see that he's having reservations about that, to the point where he gives her like this whole lecture on the toys that he likes, on the types of movies that he prefers, and how she needs to not feed him the Bobo food.
He was proud, though. You could tell he was proud of his parenting skills.
Oh, yeah.
And he was proud of his son, and he wanted to make sure. Well, I don't know. Do you think it was he was trying to make sure if he handed his child off to her, or do you think he was more like? What do you guys think about that?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think he was being protective, and I think he was trying to show that he's not incompetent, that he actually stepped it up and he was a good dad, and that he cared about those things.
Well, think about if you go back to, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago, where he put the shirt on with Kenny and April.
Yeah.
So deep down inside, I think that he was speaking to her that way also because deep down inside he's really hurt. He's so hurt at what April did.
And you can see it in his face.
Yeah.
But she says to him, she's like, you know what? I tried telling you that I needed a break, and he didn't hear her, and so she had to do what she had to do, just like he would.
And he admitted how hard it is to be a father or a parent.
Oh, yeah.
She said, you have no idea how hard it I don't know how she quoted it per se, but she said, it's been very difficult to be a mother and I needed the break. And he's like, I completely understand now, which before he never would have understood.
No, I mean, when she walked in that one time, he was, when she dumped the baby, he's like, we've been working really hard. We've been really doing this. Let's take a break from the baby. Like he had any kind of clue, and now he does. So he's slightly sympathetic. He's definitely a wounded puppy when it comes to her and being back. And the fact that she's taking the baby from him now, there's a little, he's having this anxiety of disconnect.
Well, it's kind of sad because he was on a high from the game, and now this is almost
Well, and I think
bittersweet.
I think he was on a high of all of it. He finally had it together. He accepted the baby. He started growing up. He was acknowledging his maturity. He finally got it together with his game. All of it was coming together, and April just came in and shook up his whole world and took the baby away.
which she
And
shook
as-
up in the beginning too.
Which she did, right. And as much as he wants to pretend like the baby doesn't matter, obviously it does. You could see it all over his face. He's making excuses. Yeah, I don't want this. This is what I wanted you to do from the beginning.
True Kenny Powers.
Whatever. Exactly. But you could kind of see the kind of melancholy look on his face that he didn't want her to go. Not like that.
It's a perfect tease, a perfect setup for that last episode because she walks out with the baby, and what's going to happen next? We'll find out in predictions. But let's move on to actually the clip of the year. You said you guys.
Well, last week, how we, encourage all of you guys to kind of, check us out on iTunes and comment and rate us. And last week we had played our favorite clip from the season. So we asked, our fans to kind of tell us what their favorite clip was. And so we had somebody.
Pete. We had Pete, LA Dodger for
Nice.
life.
One of our super fans.
It's one of our super fans. Love you. Thank you. One of my darlings. Anyhow, he wound up sending us this clip, and you know what? I couldn't agree more, and it's very fitting for tonight's episode because he's back. Kenny Powers is back on the mound, rocking it out, and so here we go with the clip.
Philly Phil, you got it queued? Coming in.
Nice.
Give me just one moment.
It's a great clip.
It is. I mean, and it totally paints the picture of who Kenny Powers truly is. He is, this pitcher who is strong, who is able to articulate what he needs to get done, who is Kenny effing Powers, dude.
That's where it's at.
That's exactly where it's at.
Because he's an
Kenny effing
American.
Powers. He is.
And we have one episode left. So if any of you guys want to send us your favorite clips too.
That's right.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's get out there and make some fucking noise, okay?
You really want me to make
This is
some
my
noise?
favorite
Make some
song
noise,
of all
baby.
time.
The noise you shall see.
Let my Latin debut to begin.
Y ahora entrando al partido, señores y señoras, debutando con los charros. Un hombre que vino desde Estados Unidos con el número 55. Él es.
Do we need a
Kenny
translator?
Powers.
Kenny Powers.
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 The greatest song ever written.
They have no clue, too.
Yes.
Nice. Of course.
And he still did this tonight on tonight's episode.
Yes, he did.
Yes. For those of you just listening, it's Kenny on the mound. He's gyrating to Hulk Hogan's theme song, I Am a Real American.
With the American flag tied around his neck. This is from season 2.
The fact that he's doing this all in Mexico is just even that more awesome.
Pete, you are the man. Seriously, one of my favorite moments on this whole series. But look at
He is karate chopping the air.
and it ends in a thunderous applause.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Thank
no,
you so
yes.
much, Pete, for sending us that clip because we couldn't agree more on how awesome it is and the fact that it actually went hand in hand with tonight's episode.
It was perfect.
So definitely, fans, send us some more of your clips and just some more feedback on iTunes. So now let's move to news.
Yes.
Oh, we're moving to predictions. No, we're moving to newsy predictions.
They are newsy predictions.
We're consolidating.
So on a very cool note, everyone's been really excited with all the 80s montages that have been happening to the point where now Eastbound and Down, the team is releasing this month in April, at the end of this month. It's Fat Possum Records announced they're releasing the show's soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
So now we can get all of our Kenny Power love in our own iPods, DVDs, on iTunes.
We've been dying for this. I'm for serious. I want even the ringtones. I have tons, but I want the actual songs. Like, is it like the Black Keys and
everything?
Awesome.
Everything is going to be put onto CD and a soundtrack, and so it's very exciting for fans like us. I mean, even we were going and like, what songs were they playing?
Yeah.
And trying to do a little research. So now they're making it easy for us.
Very nice.
Fabulous.
Nice.
I also heard a rumor that
Do tell.
this season may not be the last season.
Zoinks.
That HBO does not want to see the show go away. But since Danny, Jody, and all of them, they do it all themselves, you know, it's really hard for them to do any other projects. So it's, you know, it's a really long commitment. So they're kind of still playing around with the idea of either having it be a film or possibly do another season. But whatever they decide, it'll be a couple years before anything happens.
Do you guys want to see another season?
But I would love
Absolutely.
to see another. Yeah.
Didn't they say that they filmed this one in like 30 days?
Yeah.
I think
They did.
So
it was like
month out of 12. They can hook us up.
But
I'm just saying.
That's a lot of.
I'm being
But I
greedy.
mean, it's yeah.
I want some more KP.
That's a lot of actoring, okay?
But there's also talk of an animated series as well, going the route that
Oh, wow,
Napoleon
really?
Dynamite
That would be
did.
fantastic, yeah.
So there's also been that. So there's a lot of different avenues that they're exploring, but HBO is totally 100% behind it. They absolutely do not want to see it go away. So
Right.
it's kind of up to the guys to see what happens.
An animated Kenny Powers, though. Could you imagine that?
I've seen sketches. I
Will-
saw sketches.
Will it be like a power struggle though? Because I heard that FX was the ones that were interested in the animation in the series. And if FX does it, think of it like Family Guy, but on FX, they can take it a step further.
They could.
So you know what
I mean, it would have to be. It couldn't be on. I mean, it couldn't be on regular television.
Okay.
HBO has a hard time with animated series, like with Life and Time of Tim. It just didn't do very well. So it couldn't. I don't think an animated series would do very well on HBO, and I think that's kind of like what's going on with that. But I mean, either way, we'll see. I mean, Kenny Powers is a great character, so I mean, I'd hate to see it go away, but
So definitely stay tuned, guys.
I'd like to know that there are options.
Yeah.
All right, so
we'll
write in,
see.
let them know. Write a congressman if you have to. Just we still want some Powers Nation here. So with that said, our final predictions. But before we do, well, as we do that,
Now,
it is our Easter episode. So I brought you guys
TV.
an Easter present.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a PlayStation 2.
Wow.
For our Powers fans, we all know. You guys want to open that. Thomas, we're going to ask you your prediction while the girls open their Easter present. Thomas, what do you think? What's going to go on?
I think Kenny is going to try to get Toby back.
You think he's going to
He's
try
going
to
to try to get Toby back.
And what's going to happen with April?
I don't know if him and April are going to try to work things out. Oh, look at that. I don't know if him and April are going to try to work things out or if they're
plays
going to go
Blu-rays.
separate ways, but I have a feeling he's going to try to get Toby back. He's going to feel remorseful. Because you could see in his eyes when he was saying bye to
It plays Blu-rays. It's for the child, and it is Easter, so we brought you guys a little bit of Easter baskets and two of my headshots. So I'll sign them after the show because Kenny Powers or JC loves you. All right. So, ladies, all right, now keep the head in the game.
Okay,
prediction
yes.
prediction for
Prediction.
next week.
My prediction for next week, I think Kenny is going to be feeling really disconnected. I think that he's going to, I think April's going to start to come back into the picture, and he's going to need her to have his A game the way it's been in this last game that he played. So I think that April will be back, and I think that he's going to want her back, and he's going to want to do well. I think he can't do well without her.
All right, and my AfterBuzz April, what do you think's going to happen?
I think that Kenny wants to be a family deep down inside. I think that that's what he wants, and I think that he's going to kind of go for that. So
right.
that's what I'm hoping to see.
Father of the Year, like I said, he's going to go to the majors as a knuckleballer because he keeps doing it with his hand. He does this thing, and that's a knuckleballer thing. So he's going to make it to the majors, be Dad of the Year, and have ridiculous amounts of sex with April. I'm JC, and that does it for another Eastbound and Down after show wrap up. Thomas, where can they find you, buddy?
at Thomas Guide. TOMAS Guide.
Miriam?
Miriam L. Gonzalez on Twitter.
And Miss Kelly.
It's Kelly with an IE079.
And I'm the Everyday Man, and we're all AfterBuzz TV, and you're effing out. See you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.